First of all, in Brighton today, there's a special screening this evening of a rare tribute to the Brighton-born music hall legends, Max Miller.
Whilst I was in this pub, this posh fella came in. He said to the barmaid, can I have a gin and Angostura? And the barmaid, not being too bright light, just started at the game. She put the gin on the counter. She said, that'd be 2 and 6. But he said, well, where's the Angostura? She said, oh, you must be new around here because it's down the corridor and on the left.
Rob Brown is behind the screening of Here's a Funny Thing and can tell us more. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Danny.
Morning. Just put us into perspective. You know, Max Miller, who would he be today if he was like a comedian these days? What sort of level would he be on? Local concert halls or those big gigs at the O2, for instance?
Well, in his day, he was part of the show is telling the story of his life. And in the 50s, he was earning £1,000 a week. So that puts him at A-list. I'm trying to think who the equivalent would be today. He was absolutely huge.
So a sort of Michael McIntyre or Ricky Gervais or somebody like that?
Yeah. Actually, the interesting thing is he needed an audience. So he did appear in a few films. I think he did possibly 1 or 2 television appearances, but he needed to be on the stage. He needed to be in front of an audience, and that was his special thing. He was probably the first British comedian who created intimacy. So he wasn't just a bloke getting up there and telling some jokes. He involved the audience at every level. He's quite well known for being the innuendo, but actually I think it's the intimacy that's the most interesting thing, because the audience are in on the joke and they're in with a shared sense of naughtiness that he's breaking some conventions and taboos. So it's very, I know Brighton sort of regards him as one of their most famous sons, but the reality is I think a lot of people really don't know much about him. So Here's a Funny Thing, which was made for Channel 4 45 years ago now, actually, tells both his story as a performer, but also gives you a little flavour of his act, recreates some of his act, which is lovely to watch.
Okay, so maybe you've seen the statue around and you think, okay, I need to find out more about him. So where can we see Here's a Funny Thing later on, Rob?
So it's at the Duke of York's Picturehouse. They've been absolutely lovely to us. We're really looking forward to having the screening tonight. And I should say as well, it stars John Barden, who many will know more intimately from his appearances as Jim Branning in EastEnders. But this was before he really hit the big time. But he's absolutely brilliant in the role. And yeah, it's 6:45 tonight. Apparently there's no adverts or trailers, so you need to be there on time, apparently.
Right, so get there in time, have your tea and get along to the Duke of York's for Here's a Funny Thing. Rob, thanks for telling us about that. Have a good one this evening.
Thank you.
Cheers, nice to speak to you. Let's go.